Hey, welcome back. This is Kerry with Wellness for Warriors. This is our final video in this series of resilience. Now, we're going to continue our journey on the topic of resilience, but in a different manner. But we're going to close it out this week with talking about peer support. And then also, as I mentioned last week, we're going to be talking about pet therapy. So it's really exciting about what's coming around the corner. We're going to release a video. So also what we're going to do, hopefully in the next few weeks, is I use a PowerPoint as I'm making these videos. I'm actually looking at this PowerPoint and I'm going to add audio to each PowerPoint. And so we're going to do like a video on everything that we've talked about, kind of shortened, but then you will also be able to see the PowerPoint that I've been using for these video sessions. So peer support. So I mentioned it, I think, in a video not too long ago. And many of you know just because of the backdrop. So I've been recording these videos at my house. This is what we call my dummy room. And in behind me, I've got a suitcase with my Elvis character and a tote full of other characters that I use in my ventriloquism. This past Christmas, though, total surprise, my wife gets me a police officer dummy. I'm not saying police officers are dumb. So, but anyways, this is Mr. Policeman. I haven't given him a name yet. Working on a video with him and Jordan, one of my other characters. But peer support. So we got to work with this guy. His name's Scott Gucciani. I call him Scott Gooch because I am never sure if I pronounce his last name right. So Scott, if you're watching this video, giving you a big shout out. Scott has a heart for first responders, whether it be fire, law enforcement, EMS, air care. So we started working with Scott, a couple years ago, and he's really wanting to strengthen the community peer support. So what peer support is basically your peers are trained to help you on your journey. One, they understand what you do, and they've had specialized training to help you over hurdles, if you will. And so peer support can be one of the biggest assets any organization can have. In fact, we started working with Scott, and then we started hosting a quarterly meeting at the Meyer Center here in Springfield, Missouri. But then COVID hit, and as you know, it's changed everything within the medical world, the first responder world as well. But it's vital to recruit and train right people that want to be in this peer support group. Now, everyone can be a supporter of their peers, okay? And it's very important that we are all, we have all continuing education. We continue to feed ourselves so we can feed others, if you will. And we've talked about that in the past. That's what we do at Wellness for Warriors, is give you tools to use to help you help others. But it's vital to have the right people to be able to do the right job. And it's vital they provide training. Now, what we were doing with the peer support group, the community group, is just coming together and building those relationships of trust that we've been talking about. And one of the most important steps in establishing a strong support team is to have a complete buy-in from the organization's leadership, so from top down. And so we've been able to build relationships with the chief of fire here in Springfield, the chief of police here in Springfield, our own healthcare senior leaders, and it's really cool that we've been able to do that. So if you want more information on this, reach out, because we are continuing, even though we haven't met, we've done our best to offer them tools and to stay engaged. Video conferencing has been a challenge because every organization uses different formats, if you will. But with email and other things during this crazy time that we've come through in 2020 and still dealing with right now at the beginning of the year, people, we still engage with them. We still, and hopefully not too long in the distant future, we'll be able to get together. One of the things that we're trying to do when Brian Mason finishes his house is to host the meetings there. We'll see how that goes in the near future. But peer support, very important. So if you want to start a group where you work, reach out to us. We'll help you. We'll give you some tidbits, some pointers. There's tons of different organizations that can give you proper training. Now, it does cost for that training. And what we offer, though, is guidance in that and just encouragement in that. So now we're closing this session out talking about pet therapy. I call it pet therapy, but there's also service dogs, equine therapy. So with horses, I know at our hospital for years, we used pet therapy to help our patients and our staff. And because of COVID and the limitations we've had at our hospital, we haven't had pet therapy. And it's been you can tell it's been let's just say, you could tell the difference it made when we had it. Veteran service dogs, I can tell you story after story of veterans that had struggled because of what they had gone through, but when they got a service dog, it totally turned their life around. And equine therapy, if you've never worked with a horse, I would encourage you. I don't care if it's just to go horseback riding. I never forget I was on this horse named Trusty. That was a lie. That horse, I could not trust it. But whether it's pet therapy or animal-assisted therapy or equine therapy, the handlers, those that work with them and train them, they have specific goals with their patients. And so there's reasons behind this, and it's really exciting when you see it play out. Studies show that contact with a pet lowers blood pressure and releases endorphins. So any of a group of hormones secreted within the brain and nervous system and having a number of psychological functions, they are peptides, that's a word that I had to look up, which activate the body's opiate receptors, okay, causing an analgesic effect. Now, basically what that says is that this connection with the animal, it does something within us. And so there are reasons why people get hooked on opioids and other things because of what it does. And so when you work with a pet, when you work with, whether it be a horse or a dog or whatever it is, the fact alone, by doing that and having that interaction, makes therapy animals ideal to use in treatment. So the reason why I put that with peer support is because those animals, whether they're dogs or horses or whatever, they become a peer support as well. It is really, really cool, though, to see it in action. So I would encourage you, if you've never been around pet therapy, if you've never been around service animals, I would encourage you to look into it. So here we are at the end of this video series. We hope there's been something in each video that's helped you. I want to close with this thought. Self-care is not selfish. So we started this journey talking about resilience, talking about this care, creating a plan. It's very important to have a plan and education. And so we have other books we use and promote. So I would encourage you, if you have not purchased this book, First Responder Resilience, I would encourage you to do that. If you're a first responder in the Springfield community area or veteran and you would like this book, we do have some available for you at no charge. So just let us know. So we've talked about different things, and we've talked about stress, we've talked about PTSD and all these things. But out of all the stuff that we've talked about, for all of you that have given your life to service, it's important not just to serve others, but to serve yourself. Self-care is not selfish. So I don't know what you do to take care of yourself. I don't know if you are doing anything to take care of yourself. I want to challenge you to do something. I don't know if I told this story, but it really was cool when this person came back and said, hey, it works. A colleague of mine, we were talking one day, and this person was struggling with some things. And most of it was that they had no time for themselves. So I encourage this person to wake up 15 minutes earlier each day, just 15 minutes, baby steps, right? And use that time, no matter what it is, for her. So I encourage meditation, stretching, whatever it is, something to make her feel better, because she had been in the medical field for a long time, but she was at this point, where she felt like she just didn't have any time for herself. So she did this for a while, and she said, Carrie, wow, just those 15 minutes made a difference in her life. So I want to encourage you. I don't care what it is. Taking a walk, getting up and just stretching, or listening to an app or music. Just let yourself, focus on yourself and see what happens. It's all about resilience. It's all about taking care of yourself so you can continue to take care of others. So this has been our journey with First Responder Resilience, caring for public servants, which are our military and our veterans and our first responders and our healthcare professionals and their family members. So we'll say goodbye to you right now and encourage you to be watching for our next video, which is going to be about where we're at with Wellness for Warriors, what's going on. It's been a challenging season and what's going to be happening. So with that said, I will see you guys later. Remember, self-care is not selfish.